Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as I mentioned before, we are going to talk about One Piece, the live action. It just came out yesterday, March 10th on Netflix. And what can I really say? It's pretty good. And this will be a spoiler filled discussion that we're going to have. So thank you guys for joining this. So let's dive on in. So the first episode takes place in Logtown, which is the beginning and the end. It's the place where the Pirate King died, and it's also the place where the Pirate King Goldie Roger was born. Shout outs to Jeremiah and Ralph Ozzy for joining this live. And shout outs to King Crimson as well. Also, that's a great stand. Shout outs to 15 hoodie underscore darkness. Thank you for joining. But when it came to this episode in Logtown, I thought it was pretty good, but there were a few things. Here's my gripes right off the bat. I wanted to see the scene where Luffy visits the bar that Goldie Roger used to go to and gets himself a milk. And even though it's filler material, I feel like I wanted to see, Usopp have that sniper match against Daddy Masterson. Again, I know that it's filler, but I thought that would have been like a nice little thing to include because, other than calling Kaya and, professing his love, giving her a story to think about, leaving her a message, I really feel like I really feel like Usopp didn't have that much to do. In fact, in these past four episodes, I really feel like he's just completely become a background character. Um, Shout outs to um, LSI for joining. Shout outs to Cellini. Shout outs to Z for joining this live. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Shout outs to Visor Void and A for joining. But I definitely appreciate all those likes from Visor Void. It says Visor Void. This guy must be a Bleach fan. So when it comes to what happened in Logtown, I definitely felt like when it came to the action, I mean, I loved everything with Zoro picking out a sword, his interactions with Tashigi, the actress who played Tashigi, I thought did a great job. I did like the guy who's playing Smoker. He actually was kind of cooler than what I remember Smoker being. Smoker was more of a grizzled character. This guy was just cool. He seemed you know, like he could be like a stepdad or something. But he was pretty cool. And I thought that when it came to the Straw Hats and the action, I did like the action that I saw, but it came off very goofy, very CW like, especially when Alvita came back and she started sliding around. There are a lot of parts when it comes to the action and actual fighting in these stories that you can definitely tell that people are being pulled around by wires. And it brings you out of the immersion of the show, but you got to remember that One Piece is, on its face at least. Before you get deeper into it, it is, trying to be a funny, goofy pirate show that does take more serious. That does have its serious moments, its heartbreaking moments. But at the end of the day, I did, like I said before. I want to shout out King Crimson again. I am glad that we have a live action at all, and that it's pretty faithful to what we have in the show and in the manga. So I'm not trying to dunk on this show like I don't like it or anything, but I definitely did like it. But I'm just saying, the action and Luffy came off, a little bit too cheerful, if that makes sense. Like he's just like cheering out of nowhere. He is just having a party, the time of his life, which is generally a great thing. But I wanted to see more. Shout outs to Emma. Shout outs to Unknown. Shout outs to HVNLY. I'm gonna say Heavenly. Shout outs to Vixen the Power. Thank you for joining the stream. Mard Sean. Thank you. Mard.Shan. Mard.Shan for joining. But I definitely wanted to see the buggy cycle. We didn't get that, but I understand why that was cut. I love the effects when it came to Smoker's Smoke. I felt like that was done very well. Luffy's stretching, for the most part, has been pretty good. And this actual second season, I feel like it's improved. The only time where it was kind of janky that I've seen was in episode 1 that we're talking about in Logtown when he did the Gatling gun, because his arms, like they, that CG was not CGing. It just was not that great. Shout out to Bedside Fish, and also, well, thank you for joining the stream. But shout outs to Astro as well. Thank you for joining the stream. But overall, I think the first episode was pretty good. My biggest complaint about the first episode, other than the fact that I got to see Kobe again, but Kobe and Garp and Helmeppo really didn't do much. And I love Helmeppo. Like, the guy who plays Helmeppo is the best up in this show. I didn't I didn't really care for the fact that they didn't really get too much shine, especially since they kind of expanded on the characters and their interactions in season 1. But by far, I did not care for the fact that Bartolomeo was there, which is really surprising to me because I like Bartolomeo. But he just was kind of like out of it. Oh, I'm nobody. I don't even know if he had his barrier devil fruit at that time. It seems like he didn't, because he didn't do anything. And it just, he just didn't seem like a necessary addition to that scene. It does kind of help support how he became a big fan of Luffy at that time. But I kind of prefer the way that it happened in the manga, where he had heard about Luffy over all this time and he just grew into a fanboy until he actually met him on Dressrosa. So, again, this is a spoiler-filled episode review for episodes 1 through 4 on One Piece. Shout outs to everybody who joined this stream. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And shout outs to Winnie the Pooh. Thank you for joining. Sip, thank you for joining the stream. I'm going to try to shout out everyone that I can as I see them. But thank you guys for all the support. But when it comes to, this actual episode 1, like I said, it was pretty good. And as we move on to episode 2, I really like the action of Reverse Mountain. It definitely had a really good feel. Big shout outs to Ronnie. Thank you for joining. And Dieworm420, thank you for joining the stream. And Elijah D. And when it comes to that action and how Laboon was just waiting there just to swallow the ship, I thought that it was very good. Crocus, to me, seemed very, old and haggard. Like, he was definitely, his age. In the anime and in the manga, he's kind of like a buff old man. But here he was completely old man, and he lived on the shore instead of a little island inside of the whale. Which, actually, in hindsight, makes a lot of sense for the live action. So it was a welcome change. I can't complain. And the fact that we got to see Brooke, and Brooke was black. And, I love that. And the fact that he was doing his thing, we got to see Calico Yorkie. We got introduced to Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday, who is, surprise, surprise, Vivi. I really enjoyed the interaction, the fight with Mr. Nine and Sanji was good. Usopp actually doing something useful and fixing the ship was great. And I enjoyed, the nod to the fact that in the anime, Crocus does live inside of Laboon in a little island. And him and Luffy even share a line like, yeah, that would be pretty cool if you lived inside a little island inside of the whale. I thought that was like a nice little nod to the anime. Shout outs to Zoo_sleep0 on R. Thank you for joining the stream. So episode 2 was pretty good. The fact that the solution was to getting the crew out of Laboon was Luffy singing Bink Sake to Laboon, a song that he remembered. I thought was interesting. I guess for PETA reasons and for budget reasons, they didn't actually have him fight Laboon. which was nice because, Labuna's a good way. I don't want to see him get, Gatling punched in the face or anything. And other than that, everything kind of, played out the same. Shout out to Corazon and Kimoya for joining. Shout out to Lucas, the hooligan, for joining. So, shout out to Ben Sanders. Thank you also for joining the stream. When it comes to episode 3, now episode 3 is where I may have the most gripes with what the live action did. So they went to Whiskey Peak, but I don't remember them calling it Whiskey Peak. I think they said it was Cactus Town. And I was just like, okay, that's just a minor thing. But then when they got there, the whole fact that, it played out as it should have, where the town was really all Baroque work members, and they were there. They were trying to assassinate everyone. They were trying to assassinate the Straw Hats. But I really wish that it would have been a situation like in the actual show and the manga, where they actually got drunk and fell asleep, but Nami was actually the one who was holding her liquor the best. I love the fact that Zoro still got to beat up all the Baroque Works member, but here's a major thing. You had Mr. Nine just standing there watching him do it. He was just watching him. He beat up like 85 guys in front of Mr. Nine, and he's just standing there like, oh yeah, I got to send 80 more, And then finally, we got to see Miss Monday, and, I didn't get my racist scene that I wanted to see. Thank you so much for all the likes. Thank you, Ikem. But when it comes to Miss Monday and Zoro, I mean, she, got a couple licks in on him. But the fact is that Zoro didn't do the thing where she grabs his face and then he like overpowers her and grabs her face. Like, I wanted to see that scene. But I didn't get that. And I thought the fight with Mr. Nine was just so weak. And again, it was cartoonishly done, CW level, Even when Zoro was slashing people, like some people he actually cut. He gave them like little paper cuts. And others, you could definitely see that he swung the sword and it touched nobody, but these guys fell anyway. And I like that both Zoro. I like that Sanji and Usopp, again, were useless, but in a different way. And it was nice that Zoro, I like that Zoro had to save them from a very compromising situation. But I don't like the fact that my boy Usopp ain't loyal, man. He was up there in the room with Sanji and the twins. I was like, bro, you just got off the phone with your girl, man. What about the hashtag Black Men Don't Cheat? Man, why are you doing this? And then when it came to towards the end of the episode, I definitely like the guy who played Igaram. Igaram is Vivi's attendant. We get the reveal that she's a princess. And Igaram, I was like, oh no, they got my boy Igaram. Oh no. Because when it comes to Igaram, he was, I definitely got a soft spot in my heart for Igaram. And they blew him up. And unlike in the manga, in the live action, they do be killing people off. So, he may not come back. But shout outs to Igaram, man. He's a go right there. And the one thing I didn't talk about, which that I loved. I'm up here with all the fanboys. I love Nico Robin. Here she is menacing, cool. She is everything that I know Robin to be. Robin is my favorite female in One Piece. Her devil fruit is great. And I am so upset at how things turn out later for her. I definitely feel like she's purposely nerfed. But she was not nerfed in this show. It actually opens up with her taking down a Marine base. She was really cool. Outfit, I love it. I love seeing the cowboy hat again, even though, it's a little change from the cowboy hat that we're used to. It's not a black cowboy hat. It's a white cowboy hat. But she definitely did her thing. This Robin is everything that I want from Robin, and that I wish she still was in the manga, when she's not fighting Black Maria. Shout outs to LLA for joining the stream. Shout outs to Lily for joining the stream. Again, everyone, if I missed your name, I'm not trying to disrespect you or nothing, but I really do appreciate all the support up on these live streams. So when it comes to the end of episode 3, we got introduced to Miss Valentine and Mr. Five. Mr. Five and Miss Valentine were excellently cast. You can see them in the background there. They were great, right behind me. And I definitely felt like they were spot on. I actually like Miss Valentine a little bit better in the live action than I did in the show and in the manga. She has a little bit more of a flair, a little bit more of a bratty personality. And I thought that that was really great, and I enjoyed it. Shout outs to Rejeka and Pippi 12, or Pippi 12, Ed Shakam, Aryan6. Thank you all for joining the stream. But I couldn't have been happier with the casting of Mr. Five and Miss Valentine. Lastly, episode 4, the last episode that we're going to talk about. Spoilers are incoming. Shout outs to Walter. Thank you for joining the stream. In episode 4, they get to Little Garden and they meet Dorian Bragi. And if you are a manga reader, you know that Dorian Bragi are back in a big way. And I loved everything about it. There were a few differences there. First off, Zoro and Sanji teamed up to kill a T-Rex. That didn't happen. They both got their separate animals. And I like Miss Golden Week so far, although I haven't seen too much of her. It's a little bit jarring. I like that she's an older person, but, in the manga, she was like a younger kid. But it all makes sense, why they decided to go with an older person to play Miss Golden Week. And she's like low-key one of the most overpowered people in the show. Shout outs to Sim. Thank you for joining the stream. Shout outs to Alfie and Jack D, or Jacked, for joining this stream. I thought that she was good. Lastly, I will talk about Mr. 3 and his Wax Fruit. He seems like he's going to be a very villainous. He's going to be kind of menacing in what he does, but he also was able to capture that goofiness. He's like a guy who takes himself too seriously, even though he's a complete clown. And I feel like the actor, you may remember him from the Suicide Squad. I think he played that Polka Dot Man. He's perfect for the role. He looks perfect in the role. And I think he's going to do a great job with it when I watch episode 5 and beyond. So I'm only halfway through the series. Please let me know in the comment section whether you guys enjoyed or are enjoying One Piece, the live action season 2. Very grateful that we got it. They're wrapping production from what I've seen online for season 3. So hopefully we get that within the next year or two, because I definitely want to see the Alabasta saga play out. And I didn't even mention it. But when it comes to Vivi was also cast great. I don't understand where all the hate is coming from. She is a perfect Vivi. And I've never had a problem with her being darker skin, because Alabasta is Egypt. People there are of a darker skin tone. So I thought that that was great. I thought that it was funny that that she actually hypnotized Luffy and then they attacked Luffy, her, and Igaram. But I didn't think that, that was a bad change. And the fight with Zoro and Luffy that didn't happen in Whiskey Peak, I was glad that they cut it, because it was always a very awkward and dumb fight. And I was glad to see that get cut. Because if Zoro and Sanji are going to, if Zoro and Monkey D. Luffy are going to fight, let it be for a real reason, not they gave me food, I want to fight you. That was just a really dumb reason. But that's all my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of season 2 of One Piece. Thank you all for joining. I am your Black Anime Dad. And never forget, my biggest flex as a Black Anime Dad is that I actually went out to go get the milk, but I came back and stayed. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday, 12 p.m. I'll see you guys next week, and we're going to go through episodes 5 to 8. And I'll give you my extended thoughts on that as well. So that's what we'll do. Episodes 5 through 8 we're going to do next week. All right. So thank you all for joining. We had so many people join. Again, while I'm doing this review, I kind of want to get to it. I apologize if I couldn't shout you out, but I appreciate every single person that tuned into this live stream. All right. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next week